Now, the next leader that I want to introduce you to is a great, because she comes at this with the human resource hat on. And this is always the person, the title, the position that I think is stereotypically the one most nervous about friendships in the workplace. A lot of the HR people I talked to were just like, yeah, I'm okay with, like, in theory, people having meaningful connections. They'll like use every other word except friendship, and they'll say, I mean, I want them to get along, or I want them to like each other, but they had such a hard time saying friendship. And then those who did kind of say friendship, they'd say, yeah, but we don't want it with, a leader, and they were the ones that who understandably can see all the potential drama and to see potential downsides or kind of the pitfalls of what I would not call friendship. I would call those the drama of kind of just human interactions. And I would actually argue, and I do in my book, that the 5 greatest fears we have of relationships in the workplace, favoritism being at the top, gossip, what if I have to fire my friend? What if I have to, what if my boss has my friend gets promoted over me and we're competitive? When you list all the greatest fears, I make a case that you could actually take all of those, you could have a workplace that doesn't allow friendships and nobody is friends with each other, and that wouldn't eliminate those fears. You would still have people worry about favoritism. You would still feel overlooked. You would still wonder if gossip is happening, because those aren't things about friendship. Those are things about human interaction. And the truth of the matter is, it's friendship that actually has the highest likelihood of training people and setting healthy expectations and actually leaving them feeling more supported, seen, and loved, which actually has the biggest chance of diminishing those things that we're most afraid of. So I really think the answer isn't to pull away from friendship, but it's to lean into friendship, talk about it more, model it more, teach it more, train it more. And that's the answer to actually decreasing some of the things we're most afraid of. But with all that said, HR people are sometimes the ones who realize some of the drama the most. So it's my greatest honor to bring in Sylvia Munguia Pittman. It's Munguia Pittman, right? Yeah, so I did that right. And Sylvia is HR Executive Director for Human Resources for Adventist Health and Rideout in Marysville, California. And she's such a beautiful light. You'll want to unmute yourself. And you look gorgeous tonight, by the way. She is Executive HR Director of Human Resources. And I met her last December when I had the privilege of coming and speaking for one of their leadership events, I believe. But yeah, Sylvia, welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, yes. Actually, our Leadership Development Institute, you came on board. Yeah, that was our first introduction.
Well, and I want to say that one of the things that what I wanted to highlight with you tonight here is that you had your entire organization take the Gallup engagement assessment, which is, it takes a test for everybody and kind of assesses which of the engagement issues. And I have a best friend at work is one of Gallup's engagement questions. And it's the one that they've had the most pushback on and has been one of the biggest controversies. And that one was your lowest score, if I remember correctly, and ended up after a year. Did that then become the highest score, or that became?
It was our number one. It was actually reported as our number one strength. So it definitely leaps and bounds in 1 year.
I think, that is amazing to me. So let me just step back for everybody and let everybody know that Gallup says that if people answer the question, I have a best friend at work, they are the best employees. So without fail, they tested it with I have a friend at work, or I have several people I like, and all these different ways. And it came down to the best correlation is I have a best friend at work, they make the best employees 7 times more engaged, better customer service, they call in sick less, they have more retention, less turnover, like the list goes on and on and on. So you saw that was the lowest score. And I'm so curious to tell me what went through your head. And then what did you actually do differently to move that score up? Because that's amazing.
Yeah, I think that question really created the most buzz. It's like, best friend at work. My best friend doesn't work here. My best friend is in Southern California, in the Central Valley, anything else except having a best friend at work. So what we thought, there was different engagement initiatives that we did at the hospital, but we formed an engagement committee. So this engagement committee was formed of frontline staff members. And so we thought, throughout the year, we are not only going to define what best friend at work is, but we are going to promote it and we're going to encourage it. our organization definitely firmly believes in having friendships at work. And I know I talked to some of the colleagues, and they're like, friendships, not in the organization, but just in the industry. And just as to your point, it's such a controversy, like, well, friends, there's going to be favoritism, there's going to be all these reasons of why friendships are not successful at work. So what we did throughout the year, the engagement committee was actually called Loving Out Loud at Adventist Health and Rideout. So, you have loves and we're promoting friendship. They're like, Sylvia, you're gone crazy. What are you doing? But really, those are the elements of really talking about Paul mentioned the loneliness that people feel. And oftentimes we meet with people and they say, well, I don't even have to be friends. I don't have to be friends with them. I just want to come and do my work. But you really can hear the loneliness behind those comments. So throughout the year, we developed like a best friend day, ice cream socials, and we encourage, send selfies with your best friend. We actually had a raffle where associates were encouraged to share their stories of their best friend at work. And through those stories and through those events, we highlighted what exactly is a best friend. It's someone who has your back, someone that you can call when you're having a rough day, someone that is there for you when they need you. And we had several of those events throughout the year, so it wasn't a one-stop shop. And actually, as I'm talking now, I realize that our events, our engagement events, really align with your friend-intimacy triangle, which it talks about the positivity, and that's really showing kinds of kindness, the love, act of kindness. And that was echoed throughout the year, is how do you show kindness, which is really how do you show love. And the consistency is having those scheduled events throughout the year. And then the vulnerability is actually sharing your story. You mentioned diversity earlier, and one of the things that we incorporated in this calendar of events were history behind St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, Mardi Gras. I mean, something that you automatically attribute to something else. And we actually did associates, and they told their story of what the history of that is. So we did include diversity in that. And you mentioned it in your book as well, chapter 3, where, typically when people think of my friends, it's someone that looks like me, that has the same background, that we share a lot of similarities. And through these events, we show that no, it could be someone. It doesn't have to be your ethnicity, the same background, the same age. It's broad. So we did that intentionally, and we really highlight and we promote the value of just having friends at work, and we embrace it. We actually promote it in our organization.
I think that's incredible, because I think it's incredible. Any organization that cares enough, obviously, to be doing an assessment and being able to say, we want to hear the engagement and see these numbers, and then actually looks at that and says, wow, friendship, like, okay, let's dive in. Let's figure that out. I mean, I think you're a rare organization. And I think that your leadership in that you actually, I loved hearing some of those specific examples of things that you did. And if I remember correctly, you actually came to work there because of a friendship. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes. I was actually in the Bay Area. Yeah, no, I was actually in the Bay Area. I love the Bay Area. I'm actually from Central Valley, moved to the Bay Area, and I thought, I am never leaving this area. I love it. And then I got a call from a friend, about an opportunity out here. And I actually uprooted my family and moved just because of the relationships that I build with not only the organization, but with the individual in the organization. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say he was able to recruit you basically because of a friendship that you had from having worked together somewhere else before.
Yes, absolutely. And I myself rely on a lot of the friendships that, those meaningful connections that you develop throughout your career, because with friendship comes the trust, the reliability, the love. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits that we just want to make sure that all our associates promote. And you mentioned the fears. That is so true. And I know myself, when I started in my career, the first thing they tell you, you're not here to make friends. You leave your, situations at the door. You're at work. You're here to do a role, and you're kind of programmed to have work and life, and there was no integration with that. And that is really an antiquated thought. If we have to get rid of this fear, the situations you mentioned, the favoritism, all of those things. If you remove friendship, you will still have those issues. And I think of a lot of my HR professionals will agree that whether you're friends or not, you're going to have those issues. I think if anything, it's going to be worse not having that friendship in the first place.
May you be contagious to all the other HR professionals out there, Sylvia. I love it. And it was such a privilege to be brought into your leadership organization and to be able to help speak there, and to have it be a part of your bigger strategy, to not just have it be a one shot, like here's a great speaker, but it was actually like, hey, we're trying to build relationships, so let's teach everyone how to do this. It speaks to the strategic nature of of how intentionally you came to this. So I just want to say a huge thanks. And do you have any friends that you want to call out tonight? You are so welcome to. We are all about celebrating our workplace friends.
Just like I have too many. I will honestly tell you, I have built such strong relationships in my career. It's too many we would be here all night to list them all. They know who they are. They know who they are. But it's really been a big help for me. So.
Oh, Sylvia, thank you so much for coming on, and bonus points that you were able to name some of the things you did and tie it to my Friendmacy triangle. That was extra bonus points for you.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, I was like, wait a minute, we followed it: the positivity, vulnerability, consistency, and that all those elements were part of our initiative without even realizing that what it was. So yeah.
Well, I always say you've never built a meaningful friendship without positivity, consistency, and vulnerability. Absolutely. Like most people don't do it knowingly, but it's so powerful now that when you know it and understand what it is. But we can always look back on any bond we ever made, and we'll be able to see examples of those three things. So you were able to do it in real time, which is awesome. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. It means the world.
No, thank you, and congratulations. Your book is awesome. And to all HR, if you need research and if you have good data, get the book. It is amazing. And I highly recommend. And thank you so much, Shasta. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Oh, my privilege. My privilege. Thank you.